Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Idle Weekly. Today I thought that I would show off a game that I really like from the browser variety. This is one of the few that I would consider my favorites from the browser. Basically, when you compare incremental games in the browser versus Steam, then the Steam ones tend to be fairly straightforward and simplistic. The browser ones tend to be resource management, resource balancing and such. And really content rich, but at the same time also fairly complicated. Although this isn't a complicated game. This isn't one of those. But it still has a ton of different resources, as you can see. And I haven't played it in a really long time, so I started again recently. Well, I have my save available for myself, and basically I have here, as you can see, I have these 6 and they are all at power 1. World Shaper intelligence is not changing to fit an environment, but changing the environment to fit you. Gate Controller, this is the one I took actually today. Power over the unknown can only reach so far. Shark Migrator, Totem of Ray, Totem of Shrimp and Totem of Whale. Basically Gate Controller made sure that these here cost less. I can't remember what the percentage exactly was. But they demand less, so maybe I need 1 billion more jellyfish, so I need about 1.5 billion jellyfish, and then I can reset. The concept of this game is really interesting. First of all, you have these little stories whenever you unlock something. Then you have the laboratory, which comes with different interesting story bits, like for example, I can't find them at the moment, but basically these also have interesting flavor text. And I think that's great. I need 200 million more. So I can almost reset. This is the amount of stuff that I got in this world. The world I'm currently at is a level 16 dark world or dark planet. You get to choose. So the last slot closes. The structure opens. The water glows and shimmers within it. A gentle tug pulls at you. Enter the gate. Or enter gate. You're a shark in the space between worlds. Something unseen says, is this the dream of a shark between worlds? Or are the worlds a dream and this place your reality? Entering this place has changed you, granting you 4 essence. You have 4 essence now. So my artifacts, I can't get power 2 for Gate Controller. Reduces the cost requirements. Power over the unknown can only reach so far. It costs 9 essence next time. Bring some dolphins with you to the next world. They will find this transportation strangely familiar. Yeah, it's implied that dolphins are these mysterious creatures. Bring some eels with you to the next world. Essence tunnels for them to slide into a new domain. Eels are more powerful, but actually, let's take both. Your will crystallizes into the eel migrator at power 1. Return to gateway. Worlds. You get to choose between 3 worlds. 1 or 2 of them are higher level than the one you were at. And 1 will always be lower. So currently I got 2 lower and 1 higher. Because I was at level 16, this is level 19 marine, a serene blue world, peaceful, beautiful, so close to home. So this is basically an easy world. Chaotic and frenetic world torn by immaterial force. This was pretty hard, I think, if I remember correctly. And this is what I was at before. A dark murky ocean of secrecy and danger. So the unique shark in here was... The game is basically called Shark Game, literally. I will have the link in the description below. I really recommend trying it out. But yeah, this gave me diver sharks who dove into the darkness. Should I show you a difficult world or that goes a few levels below? Or a peaceful world? Maybe I can show you progression better in a peaceful world. So I'll go here. Recruit shark, recruit race. You're a shark in a strange blue sea. The dolphin pods that work. Oh, crabs are back, yay! The dolphin pods that work with us speak of a star-spanning empire of their kind. They ask where our empire is, and they smile. Crabs weren't in the dark world, or the shrouded world. Probably because, see how many upgrades I now have. You may not remember everything, but you're something more than a shark now. Reflect upon the changes in yourself and reality you have made here. Essence forges a barrier. Sharks are fragile between worlds. I really like the flavor text, and I wish he would continue developing this game. This is amazing. Science sharks. Basically, the diver sharks even had flavor text that said that they will find crystals easier, but everything else might not be easy to find because of the darkness. But the darkness world, I don't know if they were exclusive to it, but the darkness world also had chimeras, which are basically sharks, but bigger. Hire a crab to find things that sharks and rays overlook. So coral comes from crabs, and sponge also comes from crabs. I need 40 crystals. Crystal also comes from crabs. I need 50 science. Let's increase fish gains to 10k. I always use Buymax, but you have to be careful when you buy stuff that uses other stuff. Then you might, with Buymax you might actually buy too much of the stuff of something, and then it'll just use up the resources. Don't do that. It doesn't actually go bring the resources to 0, but it does bring them down to... It stops, basically it goes to minus at first, but then it goes to 0 once it reaches the... Once it reaches, for example, if you over hire or over upgrade something that uses coral, and you have plus 600, when it goes, then it goes to, and you have, say you need 100, then it will, if you overuse it, then the 600 will go into the minuses, but it will go to 0 once you reach the 100 threshold in the bank. That's the thing, that it doesn't actually go to 0 with most things. Some things do go to 0, but unfortunately I can't remember which ones. But I definitely have seen some things go to 0. So, shock power, ray power, or science shock power. I'll go with this first. Oh, I can just take everything, why not? So 27,000 fish. And 700. Let's get the sand to 1,000. Nice. Now let's get the fish to 100,000. I can also get this stuff now. Right, the flavor decks, sorry about that. By storing things in a centralized location, we now finally have an idea of what we are doing, sort of. This is the grotto. And laboratory underwater chemistry with the weird bottles. We can now put things and other things into them and see what happens. Yes, please. Study the bottom of the ocean to determine the rich, deep, juicy secrets it contains. Give it to me. Give it to me now. Thank you. We can see these things littering the reefs and beds, but we don't know how to collect them without breaking them. Sponge. Clam scooping. We see these things all over the seabed, but we can't tell which are clams and which are rocks. And jellyfish. So these three are needed now. Investigate the boiling vents that just seem to keep on heating things up. Sure. Hire eel. So eels will round up fish and sand. Basically like rice. Sponge collection. Let's start with the sponge. But right now, since we have crabs, we don't... Actually, I don't know where the sponge comes from. Crabs don't seem to create it. I guess maybe it's a marine world thing that it just comes. So that was wrong information. Clam scooping. Lobsters are back, yay! So lobsters will gather clams for me now. Laser rays. They will help with crystals. This is the first one that uses one thing to make another. They use sand to create crystal. So this is the first part where you need to be careful. Jellyfish. And that's the beginning. This is the beginning of a world, basically. And this is the beginning of an easy world. The harder worlds start out about this fast as well, but they are tougher to maintain. I think my favorite world, but also a really difficult world, unless you really are good at balancing your stuff, is a world which was basically an abandoned world. Abandoned advanced world where the water was just, or the oceans were just contaminated. Basically there were machines that were broken, and it was a bad world to be in. And the world you actually had to really quickly get to the point where you unlock machines, because now I can use nurse sharks, yay. Oh, that's new. Right. I haven't seen crabs and lobsters in so long that I forgot about the planter crabs. So planter crabs basically help you with kelp. I can just say that each different world type has its own unique creatures that you can use. For example, as you can see, I never got the diver shark here, because diver sharks aren't needed in a marine world. They are only needed in that really, really dark world. Because, well, yeah, just because. And that's how the game goes. That's how it continues. But I forgot to finish up about the machine world. Basically, you have to rush to get to the... Determine what is with these weird faceless creatures we keep finding. Ray biology, though kindred to the sharks, we know so little about the rays. If only we could fix this, we need to bait the sand trap. Crustacean biology, these strange creatures related to crabs require further investigation. What is with exoskeletons? Eel habitats, so we keep seeing these things we thought were kelp on the seabed, but it turns out they're not kelp. What are they? Crevice scratches. We can probably figure out a way to make eel pits cozier for their inhabitants. Sure. Now I can make a lobster barrier that creates more lobsters, and also lobster harvesters and ray makers. So I need the more lobsters, and I need... Oh, I'm missing sponge. So lobster harvesters will take care of the sponge. Eel sifters are really powerful when it comes to kelp. And eel technicians are really powerful in terms of science. Only chimeras are more powerful from the ones that I have used. At least I haven't done any proper calculations, but that's what I have noticed. Right, I will finish the machine world talk now. You have to rush to machines to unlock the... what was it? A cleaning machine, so to speak. There is a resource that appears in the bottom here. I can't remember what it was exactly because I haven't seen the machine world in a while. But it's a material that builds up over time, and the more it builds up, the more everything in your colony gets worse and worse and worse. So you need the cleaning machine to decrease the amount it builds up. But at the same time, the more your colony builds up, the more that is produced. Oh no, that actually goes up over time, so it's basically a timer. It goes up over time regardless of what you do. So you have to keep building those cleaning machines to keep it down, or keep its scaling as slow as possible. And that's a world you really want to get out of as fast as you can. Unless you are really powerful for its level, and you are able to easily outpace the build-up. But I found that the world really fascinating, the story in it. An abandoned world with contaminated, oily or something worlds. And that's this game. I have been babbling on about this game for a really long time and I have barely even shown anything. Here you can, if you do build too much of something, you can dispose of it here. So for example, I can just dispose of my sharks. Yes, throw your friends away, callously discard them. I won't judge you. Oh God. I am a shark, and I disposed of all sharks. I'm horrible. I'm so horrible. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you next time. I definitely want to play this game a lot more than I have. So, from a distance it's harder to tell which of us are really sharks or those other things. We need to figure this out. We must determine what is with the weird glare on the surface of the water by heating things up and doing science things to them. Yeah, careful observation. Do we really have to learn about this? We do? Alright then, dolphins. Yeah, crabs are a mystery. They keep to themselves and dig up the crystals or put down plants. What is even up with that? What are crabs? I really like this. But yeah. Now I have dolphins. And I also have coral glass again. Yay! Coral glass is another main material for machines and such that that you don't actually see all that often actually. But you see it more often than something like diver sharks. Another thing I really recommend you to unlock as fast as you can, or well, you don't have to unlock it as fast as you can, but I recommend unlocking it anyway eventually. The moment you can is this, Eternal Song. The whales claim to know segments of some form of ancient ethereal music that connects worlds. We can collect what they know up to piece it together ourselves. Crystal miner. Yep. What that does is that unlocks an upgrade that you can buy once, which has a chance to create these essences. One every 3 days. The whales speak rarely to us, working in silence as they sing to the ocean. What do they sing for? Aren't they mysterious? And with that, bye.